Well, good damn afternoon, Americans, and even you Americans. Jericho Green, I'm here with you once again. It's been a long time. I fucking miss you guys. Who's cutting onions? Sorry, I think somebody's cutting onions in here. Shout out to everybody. Appreciate you being here. It has been a minute. Make sure you get over to my new YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and share Green's House. I sit down with amazing people who have an interesting story to tell. Yes, Authentically Kennedy, aka Mum. This is alive. It's a live. This is real. This is not a dream. Go ahead and pinch yourselves. Anywhere. Pinch yourself anywhere. You don't have to be on your arm. It could be on your genitals, on your tits. This is real. Thank you for being here. And Authentically Kennedy, the newest mother, I believe, in here somewhere. Nicole Thomas in the UK. Her baby's a little older. But yeah, the baby is she's kind enough to share pictures on her social media, and that baby's getting big and chubby, got the fat wrists. If your baby has fat wrists, if it has the rolls on the wrist, you are doing something right. Let me see. Let me get back up to the top of these comments. And Christian, yo, hoser, thank you, eh? 1 full year with me, with this man right here. And I thank you. I really do. And you know what I do when I want to show my thanks. Appreciate you, man. Oh, man. So let me go to the top of the comments here and give a shout out to everybody who's in this bitch. So let's see. There we are. The Ferg. Username Richard Winter. I'm going to call you Dick Winter. Winter. Not winter like you want a dick. You know what I mean. Bones. Mark's Music Obsession. Leilani Mitchell. East Coast Tempo. Weapon X. Oscar Gonzalez. Sue Sabelboro. Aloha. Eric. Authentically Kennedy, of course. Sorrowful Soul. I hope I can lift some of that sorrow from your shoulders today. Mary R. Mary R says, love the Trump quote about you. Yeah, I've been doing these AI posts on my Instagram where I think Trump, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and the Obamas so far have sent messages to me via AI on Instagram. So I'll share some of those with you. They're pretty funny. Legal Alien, thank you. Sonia Swan, Lori Ann, Michael Quinn. Hello, my name's Quinn. Michael Quinn. Marilee Pike, Mary Ann B. Phillips. Thank you. Mitchell McNeely, D. Light, Groove is in the Heart. Bardo, Boss Hog. Robert Boycourt, thank you. Jay Hell, Jason Lee / Guitar Instrumentals. LAPD SWAT 1. Justin Des Roches. Jacob Masters. Bushmaster. Got a few different masters in here. Hope it probably got some master baiters too. Thumper. Nicholas Hardick. Hope I'm saying that right. Think about what you think about. Good to see you, man. Prepped Review. Hoser. Giving a super chat. I appreciate you. Lisa White, Notorious J, all of you. Thank you very much. Let me show y'all real quick what I'm talking about with the AI. This shit is so much fun. Shout out to my homeboy who does these for me. And all I got to do is post them. I got the easy part. So thank you for that, man. Let's see. We're going to present the screen. Insta, bam. And if you don't follow me on Instagram and you want a good laugh, please do at JG Talk on Instagram. I'm going to also play one of the funniest posts I've ever put on Instagram. Some people were offended. I knew they would be, and I wanted them to be. I wanted some people to be offended because if you don't see the humor in this, fuck you. So here we go.
Jericho Green says that I'm a he says that I'm a hum. Wait a second, this isn't the mall. Where am I? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Jill, can you order me a malarkey milkshake? Now, I remember Jericho Green says that I'm a piece of shit. Lefty. Give him a follow.
Oh, man. These are so much fun. And here's a Trump one.
Like Jericho Green says, hit that bell. Every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Like,
these are so much fun. And this is the post that I think is some of my best work. I'll give you a little backstory. So this black deaf Google worker, she is suing Google for discrimination, and she was a diversity hire.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. You gonna fire me, huh, Google? Why don't you Google this, motherfucker? Huh? Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Give Jericho Green a follow.
So, of course, there were some people who are like, oh, you're making fun of deaf people. Shut the fuck up. That's hilarious. And I'm sure if deaf people could hear it, they would laugh too. So, shut up. Let me go back down to the story I had on here. Okay. Ugh, wait till we get to that one. But that's what you will find on at JG Talk on Instagram. That shit was so funny. Okay. Leilani Mitchell, I did. Oh, that was fun. Anyway, I can't tell you how happy I am to be back here doing a live. It's been a while. I've been cranking out videos. I do like 2 videos a day at least. So I haven't had a lot of time for the lives, but I got time today. Oh, I got time today. So here we go. What are we going to be talking about today? Oh, shit. But before we do, you know how I like to do. I like to show my appreciation. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Christian. And for those of you who don't know, he's from Canada, eh? He's our neighbor to the north, America's hat, but he ain't with the bullshit. He's not a fan of Justin Castro, the love child of Fidel. He says, a quick update. My boy made corporal. He's half done with his tour, and he had a blast on his vacation in the Philippines. Oh, that motherfucker was having some fun. Congratulations to him and his promotion. And I hope that when he is done, he comes back to you and your lovely wife the same way you sent him away. Sorrowful soul, thank you as well. And GJB Films, been down for a minute, a year, 12 months. Thank you. And GJB Films says, yo, Jericho, how many casualties did you witness at the playground when they still allowed metal slides and merry-go-rounds? Also, I just turned 21. Oh, congratulations. I don't know if you've gone out to party yet, but let me tell you what nobody told me, okay? And anybody else out there turning 21, or if you're just going out to party and you're going hard in the paint, water. If you're going to be taking shots, because, I heard a lot, and I'm sure they still do it, but I heard a lot around the time I turned 21. People were saying, oh, I'm doing 21 shots on my 21st birthday. That's a lot. But if you do, just make sure you have some water mixed in there, so that way your head isn't thumping like a techno club the next day, and you don't feel like microwave shit. Okay? Mix maybe every 2 drinks, every other drink, get a little water in you. You'll be fine. But congratulations for making it 12 months with me, and happy birthday. Ooh, boy. Eric Schultz, can we deport Megan Rapinoe? Unfortunately not, because if we could, hopefully we would have done it already. But, man, there's some stories in here to talk about today. One of them, the Florida mother, I put in the description, Florida mother does the unthinkable. So last night on Stop the Fuckery, episode 11, the topic was guns. And my co-host, Gian, we have our Fuckery 5, which is 5 stories that are based on the topic. And we talked about this last night, but it is such a crazy story that I'm going to talk about it again here. Man, it's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. And we've heard a lot of crazy things, especially in the era of the internet. But man, this one takes the taco. GJB Film says you didn't answer my question. You're right, I didn't. I was so wrapped up in congratulating you. Forgive me, Saya. He says, but how many casualties did you witness on the playground when they still allowed metal slides? Look, man, there was a park near where I used to live in Monterey, California. You can look it up. It's called Dennis the Menace Park. And I'm not sure if Dennis, the guy who wrote, what's the name of the guy? Somebody let me know in the comments the name of the guy who created Dennis the Menace. But I'm not sure if he was from that area. But not only do we have Dennis the Menace Park, but the maternity ward wing or whatever of CHOMP, which is Community Hospital of Monterey Peninsula, also in Monterey. It has a Dennis the Menace statue and a lot of his artwork at the entrance. And it's common practice, or it's tradition, that when you go into, you enter the doors into the maternity ward, you touch the Dennis the Menace statue. It's a bronze statue. Thank Hank Ketchum. Thanks, Notorious J. Hank Ketchum. I used to watch the cartoon when I was a kid too. Mr. Wilson. It's tradition, when you go through the doors, you touch the statue for good luck. So you'll see, like, in the Dennis the Menace, he's like standing on one foot, like he's jumping or something, and he has 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot in the air. And you'll see on his big toe, that's where people usually touch it, because all the bronze is, like, the color is like rubbed away. So when both my kids were born there, and when you go in and out, you always touch the statue for good luck. But there was a park, it's still there, but they queered it up. They took out a lot of the slide or the metal slides and stuff, and they made everything rubber. And there's this huge train that's right there in the front, and it's like a locomotive. It's a huge wrought or cast iron train, and it was like play equipment. Island Anderson, what's up? Welcome back. And kids would play on it, but you were going to get hurt playing on that train, because again, it's made of cast iron. So you're running and jumping, going up and down the slides. Sometimes you have dads in there with the little kids, and the older kids, 8, 9, 10-year-olds are flying around. You're going to bang your shin, you're going to hit your elbow, you're going to bump your head, but that was just par for the course. That was life at Dennis the Menace. And they had this huge, like 10, 15 foot wide stainless steel slide. And on sunny days, you could fry an egg on that bitch. It would get hot. But instead of the parents saying, get rid of the slide, you burned my kid's butt, or, kids with shorts, the back of your legs were toast. But what the kids started to do was, you would take your sweatshirt or a long sleeve shirt, you take it off and tie it around your waist. That would protect your legs and protect your ass from getting burnt. So we figured it out. No stupid skillet slide was going to stand between us and our fun. We would back up and run and jump in the air and slide. And then when you put the sweatshirt around your waist, that made you slide down even faster. And they had this big, long tube, but it was the shape of a triangle. And there was a rock wall where you would wait to get on it. And when it would it would spin around. And sometimes when the older kids got on it, they wouldn't stop it so the younger kids could get on. So what'd you have to do? You had to fucking time that bitch and jump on there. Sometimes you made it, and sometimes you got crushed between the wall and the spinning triangle metal tube. And it was steel. You could see where they welded this shit together, and when the paint got rubbed away, you could see the steel underneath it. It was hardcore, but it was so much fun. And it was about 10 or 15 minutes from where I lived. So we didn't go there all the time, but when we did, Dennis the Menace was the shit. And then out in the parking lot, which they still have, which is funny, they have a snack shack out there that sells all the pixie sticks and candy and slushies and shit. So they don't care if feeding your kids red dye and processed bullshit, but you better be careful on the playground. But we would go there for field trips sometimes. Man, it was shit. Dennis the Menace Park was so much fun. And to take my kids there, now everything's all PC and safe. I mean, you don't want your kids to get hurt, but shit, you know what I mean? You figure it out. And they had a maze in there, and the older kids would climb on top of the fence, and they weren't scared. But if you were a little kid, you got scared in that damn maze, because you really get lost. You always hear kids crying for their parents because they got lost in the maze. And then there was this like tower you would climb in the middle, and if you got to the middle and stuff, and it was great. It was fucking great, man. Shout out to Dennis Simmons Park. If you're from that area, if you're from Monterey County, you know about Dennis Simmons Park. It was the shit. So to answer your question, GJB Films, we lost a lot of good men and women out there on the battlefield of Dennis Simmons Park. That's just how it was. I made it. I don't think I have any scars from it. Oh, one other thing they had was this bridge that went across, and it had like the slats of wood, and then it had like chain link for like the barrier or whatever, the railing, so you wouldn't fall off. So again, when the little kids would go across the bridge, the older kids would shake the bridge. You fucking little assholes. Oh man, it was fun. And Bushmaster wrote, Mr. Wilson. That also reminds me, if you guys can believe it, maybe you won't, but I was a bit of a class clown all throughout school. And in high school, we had this substitute we would get sometimes. He was old, dude. He was like 75. He was old as fuck. And when you're in high school, anybody over 20 is ancient, right? And his name was Mr. Wilson. So what do you think I would yell from the back of the class every time he turned his back? He would get so mad. And as an adult now, I would want to slap the shit out of me. But at the time, you know, you're young. You can't see past the end of your face. So you don't know what you're doing. But man, I used to torture that dude so bad. And I wouldn't say, I would like cover my mouth like, Mr. Wilson. He turned around. Who said that? Class starts dying. Loved it. Thank you for that trip down memory lane. Oh, yeah. Sue Sabelbro, she says the senior in high school is old. Yeah. You look at seniors, they got like mustaches and shit. You're like, damn, they're old as hell. So the Florida mother does the unthinkable. I have to talk about this. This shit made me so mad. If you're sensitive to cussing and the word bitch, well, you're going to want to tune out for this one, because I'm going to do a tribute to Andrew Dice Clay on that story. Illegals break through the border. I don't know if you guys saw the footage, but there was an area of the border in El Paso, Texas. They had razor wire and stuff, and this group of like 100 illegals, and no, they weren't a bunch of women with babies on their shoulder. Please, yo los Estados Unidos, please let me in there. No, it wasn't that. It was a bunch of war-age men, and guess what? Most of them didn't look Mexican. But they told us that they come from there. No, this is some international shit. There's some African, Haitian-looking motherfuckers in that crowd. You'll see. We've never seen footage like this at the border. We've seen the thousands of people waiting under the overpass and large groups of them and coming across the water, sitting on that train that all those countries allow to pass through and come and invade our border. Fuck you, Mexico and Central America. But we haven't seen this. We haven't seen 100 war-age men push their way through the border, overrun the razor wire, push through the National Guard soldiers who were there, and not a gun on them. I didn't see one M4. I didn't see one of them grabbing for their sidearm. I didn't see that. We've never seen this footage. At least I haven't. Maybe you guys have. I've never seen this kind of footage before, and it made me upset. And I can't keep this to myself, so I'm going to upset you too. Also, Chicago sues who? Now, last year, I think it was Mayor Brandon Johnson, that pinko commie turd, mayor of Chicago, America's shooting range, sued the Kia car company because they were making their cars too easy to steal. Yes, you heard that correctly. So instead of clamping down on the criminals and bitch slapping your district attorneys and say, prosecute these turds, they went after Kia for making their cars too easy to steal. Hollywood, your story writers ain't got shit on reality. Also, what time is it? It's election time. It's an election year. It's 2024. I can't wait for November 5th. So what are they doing? What do Sloppy Joe and his cohorts do when it's election time? They start bringing the Negroes to the White House. They start bringing the ignorant rappers to the White House because all black people love rap. All we want is a good beat and a ball to bounce or run with. And this year, you thought Retardie B was the worst? She's pretty bad. Remember she sat down with Sloppy Joe, Joe Biden's and all that shit? Well, They won up to this year. And finally, what up, Mo? Mo Reese, appreciate you being here. And finally, the Oakland mayor is 100% jackass. Her 23andMe results came in, and she is 100% pure. Hee-haw! I have a clip from her, and she's giving a speech, and she's telling the people of Oakland what she has done to make their lives more safe. And if you have functioning ocular stems, you know that Oakland is anything but safe. I have a friend, a really good friend of mine who's from Oakland, and guess where he doesn't like to go? Guess where he doesn't want to take his family? His old neighborhood. He won't take his family. Wouldn't you want to say, kids, look where I grew up? And he can't. Oakland sucks. But I guess if you see her message, it'll surprise you. Like, wait, what part of Oakland is she talking about? And I will give my opinion on her speech, and I will say something extremely sexist. So let's get this party started, okay? J954, what up, man? The pride of Florida. J954, member for 13 months, a year plus one. He says, holy shit, it's JG Live. I finally caught you on live STF, Stop the Fuckery. Stop the Fuckery next week. It'll be a week after next. Peace out, JG. Remember, y'all, right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. You know, I read that last night on the show because it was about guns. You remember those things, the amendments. Isn't that what they call it to the Constitution? And they have a bunch of them, but we focused on the second one. You guys have heard of the Second Amendment? And forgive me, this is a copy of the Constitution. I know it's stupid. It's a dumb set of papers that, you know, I shouldn't even read. I know sometimes I just do dumb shit, but if you guys can indulge me, I just want to read to you the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Wow, that's deep. That's a lot. And there's words in there like necessary, free state, bear arms shall not be infringed. And let me put this away. This is dumb. I shouldn't even have brought it out. Stupid Constitution. I'm sorry. That was dumb. Because that thing is it's a waste of time and paper. Halvin Johnson, doesn't Oakland have a rich area? They do. They do have a rich area. I believe it's up in the Oakland Hills. They got a bad area. I'll fucking tell you that. Prince of Cats. Meow. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, Prince of Cats, for the $50. He says there's only one color green. It's not black or white. It's right or wrong. You damn right. Good versus evil. That's real shit. There was a time where, oh man, you're taking it a little too serious. You're being a little too conspiratory. That's a word. It's not good versus evil. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Gloves are off. Miklo El Chicano. Hey, Miklo. What was that? Blood in, blood out? There's this girl. I went to school, junior high and high school in a town called Castroville, California, artichoke capital of the world, predominantly Mexican. And there was this girl, shout out to her if she's watching, you know who you are, good friend of mine. But she was a white girl, but she hung out with the Mexican girl. She lived in Castroville. And this girl could fight. I don't give a damn what anybody tells you. White girls, they can't fight. Wrong. This girl would beat the brakes off of anybody. But they called her Mikla. When Miklo, well, let me tell you a little backstory if you don't know. Miklo was in this movie, Blood In, Blood Out. He was a character who was white, but he hung out with the Mexicans, and hey, blood in, blood out, fucker. Like, he talked like that and shit. And they call him Miklo, which means like milkweed. But they call her Mikla. She's cool as fuck, but if you step to her wrong, well, she'd fuck you up. I don't know if she had an older brother or what, but she did not fight like a lady. But what about this verse? Thank you. But what about this verse, formerly known as Ranson Shan? Thank you, man. Good to see you again. He says, what politicians or commentators have you changed your thoughts on? Previously liked or hated, but now think differently of them. Let's see. There are a couple that I don't listen to anymore, but I don't really want to bring them up. Because it's weird because if it's a public figure, like a politician or something like that, I'll talk about them. But if it's like almost like somebody else, like another person, just another regular person, even though they're on social media, I always think it's off-putting when people like go back and forth with other people, if that makes sense. But there are a couple of them that I used to listen to. I wasn't a big fan of them, but I'm not really a fan of them now. Bill Maher, he says some things sometimes, and you're like, oh, he's getting it, but then he goes right back to the ICU for his TDS. So I don't know. Everybody's pretty much what I thought they were. They are what we thought they were. But I'll tell you this. But what about this verse? Formerly, the artist formerly known as Ranson Shan. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. That's right, Jane. Jane Seamus. Am I saying that right? Vatos locos forever, fool. That was Miko right there. Leonard S. What up, fool? Leonard S. Thank you. He's great question. He says, how can Joey be incompetent to stand trial but competent to be president? Well, he's not in charge. I think that's the answer to that. He's not in charge. He's the puppet. Somebody else has their hand jammed up his ass to the elbow, and they are manipulating his mouth for sure. Good point, Atomic Ape. He says Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith definitely voices. There are some commentators out there who are voicing different opinions, but I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't know if they're fully converted. And not that I want them to come to the conservative side, but can we trust them? Are they for real? That's my question. Are they really changing their mind? Or are they just saying shit? But that's a good point, Atomic 8. Thank you. Fornication, like that. We all enjoy that. Jericho, Dennis Simmons lived in Monterey. At least that's what I thought about the show. Yeah, I think he might have. Hank Ketchum. Because like I said, they got the park and the wing of the hospital and stuff. As far as I know, he's a cool dude. I don't know. Saltzilla, Joe Marionette Biden. That's right. He's, somebody's pulling the strings. Come on. He literally, every time he speaks, every time he slurs his words. I always compare him to, remember when you were in school and you had to do an oral report in front of the class, and you always had those kids who were really uncomfortable speaking in front of a group, and they would just read their report with no punctuation, no periods, no commas. They would just read it as fast as they possibly could so they could go sit down. That's what he's like. There's no pauses in between his words. He slurs words. He makes up words. He yells. He whispers. It's always something. He never goes up there and gives a clear, concise speech where you walk away thinking, okay. No, never. You always think, oh, fuck. So, yeah, man, he's not in charge. He is not. I don't know. He's definitely not in charge of the country. I'm not even sure he's in charge of his bowels. That's a valid question. Is he in charge of his bowels? Marcus Stella says, what up, boy? Yeah, boy. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Leilani Mitchell says, every time Dementia Joe speaks, he lies. True. But is he lying, or are the people in his fucking earpiece lying? What? I don't know if you guys saw, there was a video a couple weeks ago, I think. He was in Los Angeles with the mayor of LA, Bass, Linda Bass, Lisa Bass, or whatever. Her name's Bass. I know that. He was with her in LA, and they go into obviously a black neighborhood because it's pander time. All aboard the USS Pander. And he goes in there and he's like shuffling in. He almost bumps into the door. And people are like just kind of looking at him. And she says, "You're president." And it was like, yay. Like it wasn't like a roar. You know, if Trump went into that same place, a predominantly black neighborhood, you know, if he went in that same place, people would be fucking cheering. But it wasn't like that. They were like, "Oh, hey." It was fucking pitiful. Pitiful. Authentically Kennedy. She says, "Jericho, did you, your wife, and kids vote in Cali's primary?" Well, my kids didn't. It's not like they couldn't because we do live in California. Anybody can vote. But my wife and I, we did. We did. I did a quick little video. I think it's like 2 or 3 minutes. Where I got my little sticker. Hi. Yeah, Leilani Mitchell says they were forced to applaud. Probably because maybe there was some Secret Service off camera pointing, M4s or MP5s at them. So clap it up. On the sitcoms or the Tonight Show, the late night shows will have the neon sign that says applause. So maybe it was that. But even if that was the case, everybody didn't clap. It was the saddest shit you've ever seen. Jackie Atchison. Sorry, I know I'm saying that wrong. I love that profile pic. It's Mr. T sitting on a unicorn with a rainbow behind him. Back when a rainbow was, a rainbow. That was a unique time. Mr. T, you had celebrities like that who were everywhere. He was on WWF. He was buddies with Hulk Hogan. He was on the A-Team. He was making appearances on all the famous sitcoms. He was doing commercials. He had a cartoon. He had cereal. Like, these people were everywhere. Shout out to Mr. T. Authentically Kennedy says, we sent in a mail-in ballot for our newborn. Why not? Let the baby vote. They let anybody else vote. Let illegals vote. Why not get the baby started early? Use his hand and you'll fill out the scratch, color in the little circles with his little chubby fingers. Jackie says, I have my profile pic as a tattoo on my arm. That shit is great. That's hilarious. But she says, I'm trying to buy a super chat, but it won't let me. I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. I don't know why that's so difficult. You can send it another way. You can send it on Cash App. I'll put my link in there for you, but I'm not sure why YouTube makes it so difficult. Any of you guys in the chat can help her with that. That is greatly appreciated. But what a great time to be alive when you had stuff like that. The Mr. T's of the world. Scary Harry Flanagan says, I'm sure Jericho saw the actual movie Invasion USA. Yes, I did, starring Chuck Norris. Actually, a couple weeks ago, Gabe and I, we covered that movie on Double Impact. It was great. Another one of those Canon Films. Canon Films was a company in the 80s that gave us a lot of low-budget movies, but they were classics. Invasion USA, Masters of the Universe, I think one of the Rambo movies. A lot of those classic 80s corny movies were from the Canon Film Company. And they were like a bunch of Jewish dudes, and they ended up being sued or arrested because they were accused of sending secrets back to the Israeli government. It was some crazy shit. But what about this verse? I'm going to get to this story. Hey, JG, on Stop the Fuckery last night, do you think the lunchbox gun got where it was because it did what leftists think guns do, pick themselves up and do things to people? I mean, yeah. And last night on the show, I had my Glock 21 in here. I put a magazine in it. I didn't chamber around, but I did have a magazine in it. It sat right here next to me. And they tell you gun violence, gun violence, gun violence. But the gun, as you can see, because I'm still alive, it did not jump up, load itself, and shoot me. That's what they tell you. J954, thank you. I will do this super duper chat and we will get this party started. And I'm doing this for you. I'm going to do this for you. J954. Hold on a second. I'm gonna do this in order. You'll see why in a second. LAPD SWAT 1, I thank you, sir. LAPD SWAT 1, thank you. He said, did you ever watch those YouTube old movies, 7 Days in May and Twilight's Last Gleaming? Please watch them. I have not. I've been busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, but when I have time to sit down with the movie, I still have, I believe you sent me an email with those. And if you didn't, if I'm mistaken, do that so I can remind myself to do so. Okay. Mr. Leonard S., once again, I thank you. Leonard S., thank you again. He said, did you see the Kimmel bit about Trump being abused by prison inmates? It was vicious. No, I didn't see that shit. I could imagine it was chock full of hate with no comedy in it at all. Because these people are haters. They hate Trump. They hate him for some reason. Maybe because they've been told to. But they hate Trump. Yeah, I'm sure it was really fucked up and not funny. There's an art to being funny. And you can cross the line. And I'm sure what he says was really fucked up and stupid. J954, thank you again. He said, thank you for the 556. He says, don't know if you heard this yet, but Florida fishing game stopped a boat with 25 Haitians aboard. They had guns, fentanyl, and night vision. Asylum my ass. I saw a video. There's a sheriff down in Florida, and he is doing post-arrest videos, which is genius. So the first one I saw was some guy was like speeding or running away from the cops, and he was standing there talking to the camera, and standing directly behind him was the dude in handcuffs, like leaning over the hood of the car. He's like, I didn't do shit. And he's saying, this guy, he did this, and he thinks he can fuck around in our county. So, and it's the same guy where they stopped a boat. So I believe, but I didn't watch the video, but I kind of saw it. So I think that's what you're talking about. But yeah, that's going to be par for the course. That's going to be normal now because Haiti is falling apart and those people got to go somewhere. Why not go to your dumbass neighbor who's like, duh, okay, everybody, duh, come in here, duh. So why not? You're going to see a shitload of those Haitians pouring into our country. And do you think that when they get to our waters and when they set foot on our shore, do you think they're going to go, I'm no longer a Haitian. I'm a Haitian American. I love America, and I will adopt all of your culture and ways of life. No, they're going to bring that same violent third world bullshit right here. Why not? Why the fuck not? There's no reason not to. They're not forced to assimilate. They didn't have to earn their way into the country. So fucking why not? Why not be a violent psychopath like you were in your home country? No reason not to. What? You're going to all of a sudden respect America? You came in here illegally and all of a sudden you're just going to respect us? Get the fuck out of here. I'm trying to remember. But whoever is having issues doing a super chat, if you want to continue your generous ways, I just pinned my Cash App link so you could do it that way. I thank you. So let's get started. J954, that was our last super chat. So let me use that as a segue to our first story. And this story will blow your ass. Okay? I mean, blow your mind. Here we go. This shit right here. Again, we've seen a lot of stupid shit. We've seen a lot of crazy, like, what the? No way. We've all seen that a million times, right? Well, put this at the top of your list because this is some of the wildest shit I've ever seen. Talk about no regard for the safety of your child. Talk about no regard for the safety of other children. No regard for your child's life or the lives of other children. And this is obvious. Hold on. J954 says, hey, chat, is anybody else having trouble finding Green's house? Okay, here we go. Not sure why that would be hard to find. Fuck you, YouTube, for not putting it out there. But here we go. I'll put a link to the channel. Then you guys can clickety clap. There we go. Copy the link. Bing, bang, boom. Go back. Bam. Chat. Boom. So there you go. There's a link to my new channel, Green's House. Shout out to Miss Christine Daniels. She was the last person that I interviewed. I uploaded it, I believe, this past Monday. And she is a behaviorist, a child behaviorist specializing in autistic children. And I talked to her about, of course, how she got started, her upbringing, her family life. You know, like start at the beginning. How were you raised? What kind of, family life did you have? How did you get into your profession? And I asked her a lot of the questions about working with kids and autism. And one of the questions I asked her was the vaccine question. There are a lot of people out there who think that vaccines are what give children autism, and who better to ask? So I asked her that. Check it out if you want to know her answer. So, worst mom in the world. Here we go. Florida mom charged after gun found in her son's lunchbox at daycare. Yes. She sent her son to daycare with a gun in his lunchbox. Again, if you don't like the word bitch, tune out now. A South Florida mother is facing charges after a gun was found inside her son's lunchbox at a daycare in Riviera Beach. The gun was found after a teacher opened the lunchbox and saw the gun just before noon Thursday at Jackson's daycare, according to Riviera Beach police report obtained by Telemundo. And as I said last night on Stop the Fuckery, I'm not taking my kid to no daycare called Jackson's Daycare. No thanks. The child's mother, 39-year-old Shanae Davis, told police she kept the gun, a 9mm Glock 43 pistol, in her glove box, but recent break-ins at her apartment complex forced her to move it out of her car. And naturally, right? When you have something as dangerous as a pistol, the first place you're going to put it is in your kid's lunch. Okay, never mind. I thought there was going to be, is there? Let me see. Okay, there's a video here. I'll let them explain. This is some shit right here. Okay. So let me stop this one. Share this one. There it is. Wow.
Our southern weather is unpredictable. We know.
Hold on. Let me save you from this stupid ad. Hold on. Blah, blah, blah. It's almost done. Here we go. 15 more seconds. 10 more seconds. 5 more. Here we go.
Child showed up at a daycare with a gun inside his lunchbox, and now his mother is facing charges. After finding the weapon on Thursday, staff at Jackson Daycare in Riviera Beach immediately called police. And according to the arrest report, the woman said that she usually keeps the gun in her glove box, but she has been taking it out because of recent break-ins. She claims to have put the gun in the lunchbox because she didn't want it to be out in the open. Riviera Beach police charged her with allowing a minor to take a firearm to school and child neglect.
You think? Child neglect. That kid could have blown his face off, the kid next to him, one of the teachers. Let me keep reading this article. On Thursday morning, Davis said she placed the gun inside her 2-year-old son's lunchbox because she doesn't carry a purse and then forgot to take it out. Hours later, she got a call from the daycare telling her to come immediately. Davis was then arrested and faces several charges, including allowing a minor to obtain a firearm and take it to school and a charge of child neglect. Let me be real with you guys for a second. Can I be real? Is this like a safe space for being real? Can I tell my truth? When I was a new father, when my daughter was born, what up, Brian King B? Remember that movie, Something About Mary? There's a scene in that movie where the dog gets hurt somehow, and the dog is in a full body cast, right? And they're out somewhere. He takes the dog and sits the dog on top of the car, and then he takes off driving, and you see the dog up there, and then oh shit, he stops, pulls over, takes the dog off the roof of the car. So, and I think I saw a prank show or something where somebody had a car seat on top of the car and they took off. And as a new father, I was like, shit, what if I do that? What if I'm so concerned with whatever and I forget my kid on the roof of my car? I never did that. What is that? I never did that, thankfully. I never even came close. You forget a lot of things, people. You ever forget your key in the door? Huh? You ever forget to put shoes on your walk out of the house with shoes on? Forget to brush your teeth, forget to wash your face, forget to wash your ass, forget to pick something up. We forget a lot of stuff. But one thing you can't forget, one thing you cannot forget is to put your gun away somewhere safe, especially when you have a child or children in the house. How much you want to bet that little baby Lardavius, or whatever his name was, is not her only child? So you have a house with children in it, and you, number one, putting the gun at lunch. What a stupid ass place to put that gun. And here's a question I asked yesterday. How did she forget it? Did she not pack the kid a lunch? And she just sent him to school with it? Did she leave the same lunch in there that he didn't eat from the day before with the gun in there? Did she pack him a lunch, a fresh lunch, and still put the gun in there? I don't understand. How did you not look inside of that lunchbox and say, oh shit, I forgot to take the gun out? How is that possible? How the fuck do you send your 2-year-old to school with a fucking Glock in his lunch? CPS, where you at? I didn't see the acronym CPS in that whole fucking article. Aaron M., great question. He says, how in the hell there are only 226 people in here? You better open your windows right now and say, Jericho Green's going live. Oscar Gonzalez says show and tell. I think it was show and shoot. And the thing about Glocks, they don't have a safety. Once you put the magazine in and you rack the sliding chamber around, that bitch is hot. What if she did that? What if she did that? And a 2-year-old, well, a 2-year-old can't shoot a gun. Bullshit. Triggers are sensitive. That kid, if it were loaded, he could have picked that gun up, and that gun, guarantee you, it would have went off. What if he shot one of his classmates? There's a level of trust in society. We have to trust that out here in the public sphere, in the public forum, we're going to behave ourselves. If you're driving this way and I'm driving the opposite way, I have to trust that you're not going to veer into my lane and hit me head on. We also trust that when I drop the most precious thing in this world to me off to you, that they're not going to get shot by one of their classmates because their ignorant ass, stupid, retarded mom put a gun in his lunchbox? What if he shot himself? What if he shot one of the teachers? Sweet Mama G says that, hold on. I see the supers. I'll get to them. Thank you. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, she says CPS is on the way, I promise. I hope so. But you know the sad part about that? As long as she doesn't act like a jackass for a month or two, they'll give the kid back. It's horrifying to know the situations that children are in to be taken away from their parents and then they give them back. Oh, you were a complete neglectful monster, but you've been behaving for 30 days. Here's your kid back. Bill M., I asked the same thing. He says, wouldn't you notice the weight? Just spitballing. Yeah. I'm assuming the pistol was loaded. She had it in her car. That's heavy. Don't you think, damn, what I packed this little motherfucker? What'd you put in that sandwich? You know that little boy ain't getting no sandwich. That lunchbox was full of fucking Takis and soda. You didn't notice that? Take all of her children away, hold her down, and give her a hysterectomy. I want you to scoop her out like a pumpkin in Halloween. You take those little scoop things and you get all the slime and the seeds out before you start carving. Do that to her. Make sure she can't make no more of these little nigglets, these little savage soldiers to go out and shoot kids with their same skin color. Because that's what's going to happen. Oh, my goodness. Brian King B says that 2-year-old's a felon already. He already has a record. Get him fitted for his little baby orange jumpsuit. You sent a 2-year-old with in his lunch. What a dumb bitch. Why would you put it in his lunchbox? Put it in your, I don't even know. Put it under your arm. Put it in your waistband. Find another way to transport it into the house. Nope. Lunchbox. Well, you didn't want anybody to see it. It says that she lives in a neighborhood or apartment complex so bad that she didn't want to leave valuable things in the car. So what if they see you carrying a gun? Maybe that'll show the hoodlums around there, I got a gun. No, the best way to transport this weapon into the house is in my child's lunchbox. And then what is happening in that house to where she forgot to remove the Glock 43 9 millimeter from her kid's lunchbox? That tells me she didn't pack that boy a lunch that day. That tells me that whatever was in that lunchbox to eat, that little boy was going to eat the same damn thing tomorrow. What in the hell? Take that baby away. 2 John 1:10 says, same in Michigan. Mother put a gun in the kid's backpack and the teacher knew to check that backpack. Come on. These single mothers, that's who turns out these little killers, these little killing machines, these little tiny Terminators. That's who turns them out. That's who creates them. Holy hell. A 2-year-old. Do you know what that little boy sees every night? The fuck? Beach? Nah, beach. The fuck? That's the kind of house he lives in. Filthy in many different ways. The language, the conditions, violence. Probably tells him he ain't shit. You look just like your nappy-headed daddy. He hears all that shit. Fighting. The fuck? Those are the kind of people that put 9 millimeters in their toddler's lunchbox. That didn't happen in the Cosby household. Wow. Can we get to these supers, please? Some good news. Think about what you think about. Member for a year. He says, hey, JG, can't believe it's been a year. Now so much has changed for me. I got married and I'm expecting my first child on Wednesday. Thanks, JG. You rock. Hey, man, congratulations. What a year it has been for you, huh? You got hitched. You couldn't wait. Y'all got married and put that baby up in there. Congratulations, man. It's almost here. I recommend that you and your wife, and I'm sure you probably haven't, but just spend that quality time. Go on walks. Walks are good. You're getting some exercise. It might even induce the labor. You might be walking on your favorite path. Babe, my water broke. But walks are great because you just communicate. You're getting a little bit of exercise. That's wonderful. Congratulations, man. I'm happy for you. I'm sure this whole chat is happy for you. That's what needs to be happening. People with their head on straight need to get married, do this, and make some babies, please. Thank you. Motown 20. Thank you, man, for that. Hamilton. Good afternoon, my brother from another mother. Just wanted to get your take about Candace Owens and the Daily Wire split. Yeah, Candace Owens is no longer part of Daily Wire. They let her go due to anti-Semitic comments. Now, I saw, I think this is what got her fired, but she was doing an interview with a Jewish guy, and you could tell because he had the yarmulke on. And she called this rabbi, she called his wife a hag. She's like, I called her that because she's a witch. And I never knew this, but this Jewish dude was saying, oh, that's anti-Semitic. It goes back to blah, 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 to the 1800s. Man, nobody knows the fucking origin of these words all the time. But she called her a hag. And apparently that's an anti-Semitic term. And she was talking shit about that woman's husband because he peddles porn, he sells porn and dildos and butt plugs. She was saying how pornography, the selling of pornography, the proliferation of pornography and sex toys, it's disgusting. It's her opinion. But I guess if you talk about the wrong people, it's a wrap. And if you ever want to know who's in control, just look at who you can't talk about. Look at who you can't make fun of. Look at who you can't call out. That's who's in charge. So she made that comment and they let her go. I guess Ben Shapiro is the boss over there, and he's a Jewish dude. He always wears his yarmulke and his last name Shapiro. So they let her go. I think that was a mistake. I believe that they made an enemy. And Candace Owens is extremely intelligent. She's well prepared. She's well versed. And I think she's going to let some dirt out. I think maybe some things that were going on at the Daily Wire are going to come to light. Is she, and I wouldn't even call that being petty. I would call it as, okay, you want to do me dirty, I'm going to do you dirty. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I'm a huge fan of Candace Owens. I know she'll land on her feet, of course, and she might even be better off because there's been tension between her and Ben Shapiro since last year? And her documentary about George Floyd and BLM is fucking amazing. But there's been beef there. There's been tension between her and upper management for at least a year. So this one was kind of coming. You could see this one coming. But yeah, man, that's fucked up. But I think she'll be better off for it. And they made a bad enemy. They made a mistake. That's what I think. You want to stay in that young lady's good graces. J954, thank you again, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. He says little RT's mom gives him a Glock 19 with a switch. Yeah, that's not far from the truth. Little RT is this little this little 9-year-old black kid who's a rapper, and he talks about hit him with the Glock and all that shit. Fuck that bitch and all that. Fuck. He comes from one of those sorry bitches, and all this violent gangster rap. And I've covered it on here before. He's in these studios with people smoking weed and all these adults that aren't related to him. And there was footage a couple weeks ago of him at a birthday party with a bunch of little kids, and he's rapping his song, talking about switches and shoot that bitch and fuck that bitch and she give me head and all this stuff. 9-year-old kid. Then there was footage, again, maybe a week or so ago, of him at a club, and this grown-ass woman is bending over and twerking on his crotch right in front of him, and he's slapping her on her ass. I don't know if I mentioned a 9-year-old kid. A 9-year-old child slapping a grown-ass woman on her ass. Now, why somebody didn't come up to her and do this is beyond me. I mean, call me old-fashioned, but that's what you do to children who grind their ass up against a 9-year-old, correct? Has America, are we falling that far from grace? It's okay now to sexually assault a child in front of a room full of people, film it, and then put it on the internet, and nothing happens to her. Nobody approaches her in the parking lot and does this to her. Nobody does that anymore? She doesn't deserve that? Okay. She doesn't deserve somebody to grab her and do this? She didn't deserve that for grinding. And see here, I know I don't have my white coat on. And even if I did, I'm not a real doctor. But the way a woman's body is set up is that if she bends over and shows her ass and like presses her ass against you, right below her ass is a fucking clamp. Right? So potentially she could have been rubbing her ass and her genitals up against a 9-year-old child. How about this? What if the genders were flipped? What if it was a grown man rubbing his asshole against a 9-year-old girl? Then what? Then would we want to do this to him? Would we want to do that then? Why is that okay? Is it because he's a little boy? And people often think, well, boys, males, they love that. Yeah, touch him and do stuff to him. They're men. They love that kind of stuff. Is that why? Is it because he's a little black kid? I don't know. But I thought we still live in a world where if you rub your anus against a child, somebody's going to beat the fuck out of you. Forget it. I'm old school. My bad. Get off my lawn. I'm just an old curmudgeon. Don't listen to me. Speaking of the Glock, the fuck, beach. If I were King Jericho, those are the first people who get rounded up and shipped off somewhere. You're going to get shipped off somewhere where it's hot all the time. There's a lot of sand and a lot of digging that needs to be done. I'm going to send you to a third world country where the minerals are still extracted by hand, and you are going to work until you die. Those are the first people that are getting up out of here. The fuck, beach. Speaking of the Glock and the switches, Chicago has it all figured out. All right. Are you kind of drifting through life and you're like, I wish I knew how to get my priorities straight? Well, look at Chicago. Chicago has their priorities straight. Chicago sues gun maker Glock over conversions to machine guns. Now, if you guys don't know what the switch is, it's this thing that you put on the back of the gun, on the back of the slide. You see right there where the stripes are. Now, if it's a Gen 4 or Gen 5, you'd see these same stripes up here. But since we're in California, we can't have a Gen 5. You can only have up to Gen 3. Anyway, so there's a thing you put on the back of the gun here which turns it from a semi-automatic, meaning every time you depress the trigger, 1 round is dispensed. It turns it from bang, bang, bang to brrr, turns it to a fully automatic weapon. And as you know, since 1986, fully automatic weapons have been outlawed in the United States of America, which I think is bullshit. Jericho, why do you think it's bullshit? Do you think people should be allowed to have fully automatic weapons? Well, I draw your attention to this stupid, I know it's dumb. I shouldn't even keep bringing it up, the Constitution, stupid collection of words, but in there, and I'm gonna read that part. I know it's boring. I read it before, but let me read it just one more time. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, your security and mine, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Let me put this dumb shit away. Stop bringing that out, Jericho. It's just a collection of dumb words from a bunch of slave owners. It's stupid. I don't know why I keep doing that. But as far as I'm concerned, you should be allowed to have whatever the fuck you want. Just because you have a fully automatic weapon doesn't mean you're going to use it on the masses. Only psychopaths do that. And if they're hell-bent on murder, you think not being able to get a gun is going to stop them? Because before the invention of the blunderbuss, we were doing a great job killing each other. I'm sorry, I promise. Scout's honor. I am not going to bring that stupid fucking Constitution out again. I won't. I owe you better than that. The city of Chicago sued Glock Incorporated on Tuesday, alleging the handgun manufacturer is facilitating the proliferation of illegal machine guns that can fire as many as 1,200 rounds per minute on the streets of the city. The lawsuit alleges Glock unreasonably endangers Chicagoans. It's not their policies. It's not their soft on crime mentality. It's Glock. It endangers Chicagoans by manufacturing and selling semi-automatic pistols that can easily be converted to illegal machine guns with an auto sear, a cheap, small device commonly known as a Glock switch. The switches are the size of a quarter and are easily purchased illegally online for around $20 or manufactured at home using a 3D printer. Good job, Chicago. The complaint filed in Cook County Circuit Court is the first to use Illinois' new Firearms Industry Responsibility Act, passed and signed into law in 2023 to hold gun companies accountable for conduct that endangers the public. The lawsuit states police in Chicago have recovered over 1,100 Glocks that have been converted into illegal machine guns in the last 2 years in connection with homicides, assaults, kidnappings, carjackings, and other crimes. The lawsuit alleges that Glock knows it could fix the problem but refuses to do so and seeks a court order requiring the company to stop selling guns to people in Chicago. It also seeks unspecified damages. Guys, can I decipher all that bullshit for you? They're blaming Glock. So what they're going to do, Glock's going to say, well, we're not selling any more guns in Chicago. So in theory, that's going to make the bad people go, well, no more killing because we can't get our switches to kill these bitches, right? So getting rid of the Glock is going to solve the problem because there are no other types of guns on the streets. There are no SIGs, no Smith and Wessons, no Springfields, no Berettas, no Desert Eagles. There's none of those. It's all Glocks, right? So what you're doing is you're screwing the law-abiding gun owner out of purchasing a gun that they want to purchase. What if they like Glocks? What if they want a Glock? Again, I mentioned I had a loaded weapon in here in the studio and it did not shoot me. Not only did it not shoot me, it didn't shoot anybody else. I have a sword in here, nothing. I got a knife in here, nothing. It never jumps up and slashes me. It doesn't kick down the door and go slash other people. It just sits there until I pick it up and do something. So it's not the tool, it's the human. That's the problem. So instead of prosecuting these criminals, locking them up for lengthy periods of time to make other would-be dumbasses go, I'm not doing that shit. Instead of burying them under the jail, They go after Glock. Okay, Glock says, fuck it. We won't sell another pistol in your city. Well, that makes room for the other companies. And well, Glocks can be converted into fully automatic weapons. You can kill more people with that. These gangbanging dumbasses are the most inaccurate shooters on earth. And all they're going to do is use other weapons to kill people. I guarantee you, the number of homicides via a firearm is not going to go down because they don't have the Glocks with switches anymore. But this is the bullshit that these politicians partake in. I've used the analogy before. You're standing in the middle of a long hallway. To your left is a ravenous pit bull with rabies foaming at the mouth, running towards you at full speed, ready to tear flesh from bone. On your right is a little 3-year-old girl with a little pink dress and balloons. Hi, mister. And you turn all your attention to that little kid, that little angel who couldn't hurt you if she wanted to. But that's the problem. Not this ravenous beast. You're not going after the real problem, the breakdown of the home, the lack of respect for human life, and the lack of punishment for those who disrespect life. You're going to sue a gun company. Okay? That makes complete fucking sense. What a waste of time. What a waste of resources. You got measles breaking out in your city. You have illegals taking over your city. Your constituency is pissed off because you're giving said illegals all of the shit you used to give them. But no. Let's sue Glock. And guess what? These same jackasses who are complaining about the illegals, who are complaining about them suing Kia and suing Glock, and you need to put your resources elsewhere. Who do you think they're going to pull the lever for when it comes election time again? You already know. These fuckers ain't serious. They're not. They are not. So, more of the same, people. More of the same. It is an election year, 2024. The presidential election is coming down the pipe. So it's time to bring in the dumb Negroes. It's time to bring in the jackasses of society. We're not going to bring in Black businessmen and women and scientists and doctors and business owners or anybody, even a regular average Black person who works and pays their taxes and takes care of their family. They are not going to bring that type of Black person. They're not going to bring a Black person who is successful, who has integrity. Nope. And matter of fact, if I'm being honest, can I be honest? Can I tell my truth? Is this a safe space? If I'm being honest, they don't invite Black people at all. They invite niggas. That's right. You have an opportunity. If you're going to pander, they have an opportunity to bring Black, if that's who they're targeting, bring a Black person who is successful in whatever way. Nope. Niggas. That's who we're going to bring in, is sorry ass savage niggas. And this is no different. So the other day, I think I covered it on Instagram at JG Talk. Check it out. There's this rapper, and she's from Louisiana or somewhere in the South. She's a stop her record deal and make it part of her next contract for her to go back to school, because she sounds like slavery ended 72 hours ago. She sounds like a runaway slave. She sounds like a dumbass. I'm in a white hearse over her. What the fuck? Is there peanut butter in your mouth? Are you chewing gum? Why do you sound like that? You're going to see. This is who they invited to the White House to meet Sloppy Joe and our cackler in chief, the lover of old man's pubic hairs. This is who they bring to the White House. Oh, and did I mention that she took a picture in the White House mirror of her ass? She's wearing a tight dress, and she turned around and took a picture of her ass in the mirror. And this is who you're bringing to the White House to pander for the black vote. Go on. Glorilla. Her name is
Biden and Vice President Harris.
It was so cool. I was geeked. Like, everybody don't get to meet.
Everybody don't get to meet the president and the vice president. Everybody. Did you just come out of the field?
The president and the vice president. And so, like, just being able to be in the White House like I never in a million years.
The White House. I think there's an O in house. The White House. Okay, house.
Just thought I'd be in the White House. Then I was in the White House and got to meet the president and vice president. Oh, they can't mess with me. Like, I just feel like, oh, you feel me?
You feel me?
And he also sounded like he knew your music as well, Gloria. I mean, I want to read a part, though, of a text.
It seemed like he knew your music. Shut all the way the fuck up. You think Sloppy Joe is listening to Glorilla? Are you? It seemed like he listened to your music. Shut up. Sloppy Joe doesn't listen to music. The only thing he can hear is the sound of his brain deteriorating. But he listens to Glorilla. Okay.
Text that your mother sent you after your visit to us.
Please listen to this ghetto bullshit. This is the woman she was raised by.
It was so sweet. Let me read this to you. It says, quote, I've come from being the woman with a bunch of kids living in a blue house with no real furniture in Frasier to the classiest, most beautiful, and most talented rapper of this generation's mom, who's moved on up to a beautifully furnished house. Get 'em, Glow. That is so sweet. Talk to me about what that message meant to you.
It meant everything to me because we really did come from
meeting President Biden.
I gotta drink some water. Did you hear that shit? I came from being the woman with a bunch of kids and hardly any furniture. We're just gonna gloss over that. We're gonna gloss over the fact that you failed yourself, you failed your vagina, and you failed your children. You just kept popping out illegitimate bastard after little illegitimate can't talk bastard. To being the mother of the what? Most beautiful, talented rapper of our woman, if you don't shut your dumb ass up. This is being celebrated. This is who they give a ticket to the White House to. Not the black woman who was married to her husband and raised her children in a house with furniture in it. No, this ignorant welfare queen who raised a bunch of illegitimate bastards with no furniture. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to assume that if you can't afford furniture, you probably shouldn't have a, quote, bunch of kids. Look at this woman, titties out. You're on TV, woman. Have some class. Have some decorum. Have some dignity. Cover your tits. Nope. I was in the White House and her and all that deal. Bitch, the fuck.
Biden and Vice President Harris.
It was so cool. I was geeked. Like,
I was geeked like.
Everybody don't get to meet the president and the vice president. And so, like, just being able to be in the White House like I never in a million years thought I'd be in the White House.
I never thought in a million years. There's a U in years. You guys didn't know that. You thought it was Y-E-A-R-S. Stupid. In a million years, I'll be in the White House. Did they just grab her from the tobacco fields, take that Harriet Tubman rag off her head, take off her holy tattered dress, and put her in a booth to start rapping? I never thought in a million years I'd be in the White House.
then I was in the White House and got to meet the president and vice president.
And vice president. I got to meet the president and the vice president. Shit, y'all couldn't tell me nothing. Y'all couldn't tell me shit.
Oh, they can't mess with me. Like, I just feel like, oh, you feel me?
Oh, you feel me? Oh, you feel me? I was in the White House, you heard me? I didn't think in a million years I'd be in the White House meeting the president and the vice president. You feel me? Why didn't they just put a piece of fried chicken in this hand, a 40 ounce in this hand, and a slice of watermelon in her mouth? You hear me? You hear me? Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they have a pack of Newport sticking out of her titties and a bottle of Hennessy behind her? Why not? I don't fucking see a reason why they shouldn't. The hook, you feel me? Oh my goodness.
And he also sounded like he knew your music as well. Glory.
He listens to your music, you ignorant son of a bitch. Look at all that. Look at this shit. This shit pisses me off. Look at all that. Is that her hair? Nope.
I mean, I want to read a part, though, of a text that your mother sent you after your visit to the White House. It was so sweet. Let me read this to you. It says, quote, I've come from being the woman with a bunch of kids living in a blue house with no real furniture in Frasier to the classiest, most beautiful, and most talented rapper of this generation's.
Classy. Of course, her mother with that low standard would call her classy.
Mom, who's moved on up to a beautifully furnished house. Get 'em, Glow. That is so sweet. Talk to me about what that message meant to you.
Oh, that message meant everything. Holy shit. What do you say to that, huh? What do you say to that? The fuck? You know what this let me see if I can find this. I'm gonna find a picture of Glorilla. This is her. This is everything she just said in one picture. When you hear her speak, this is what you picture in your mind. This is what I would picture. This is what I would picture in my mind when I hear Glorilla speak. Hold on, let me get to it. The fuck, beach. The beach. Oh my goodness. Oh, there it is. This picture is hilarious. This picture is what you just heard. You are going to see what you just heard, if that makes sense. You ready? That's what you just heard. This dude is sleeping on a fried chicken pillow, Kool-Aid, watermelon, a Glock, the fuck, Newports, a big ass watermelon. There's a magazine and a knife right there. This is them. This is what the left pictures when they think of black people. This is it. They think we're a bunch of fried chicken eating, watermelon munching, Kool-Aid drinking, Newport smoking, Glock shooting motherfuckers. This is exactly what they think. People of color. I love people of color. And America's racist. There's no one more racist than those sons of bitches. This is Glorilla. This is what they invite to the White House to get the black vote. A picture is worth 1,000 words. What in the hell? And you know what? My brother fucking sent this to me. My brother sent this to me. I laughed my ass off. Oh my goodness. Aaron M says, where's the big white girl? I don't know. Maybe she couldn't fit in the picture. This is so fucking funny. Spencer T says, meanwhile, Jericho loves shooting his Glock. I do. I got a few of them. I love it. Well, who doesn't like a good piece of fried chicken and sweet watermelon? I think everybody does. But this is what you just heard. This is the visual of her words. Oh, that's so funny. Huge erection. I love these names. We had fornication, and now we have huge erection. So her mom rose to success on the back of her child. That's classy. You know, that's the sad part, man. You have these kids who come from these hoods, these ghettos with these single moms and shit, and and sometimes it's a self-inflicted pressure, but they see their mother struggling, so they feel the need to help her and save her and bring her out of poverty and despair. So they have to make it. And they got to buy their mom a house and a bunch of cars, but you wouldn't have to do that if you had a daddy, because he would buy her the house and he would buy her the car. And he would take care of her and not make you feel like you have to. That shit's fucked up. You see it all the time with these rappers and entertainers and athletes. They're sitting there in the room waiting to be drafted, and you got their mama sitting there with 48 feet of fucking fake Indian hair, pressuring them to make it so this bitch could be okay. That's terrible to put that on your child. Your child should just be your child, especially when they are a child. When they're a kid, you're supposed to lighten their load as much as you can. All those little kids should focus on is having fun, not getting a job and providing and being your lottery ticket. That's fucked up, man. That is fucking terrible. But I saw that shit, I was like, no, she didn't. Brad Armstrong says 48 feet. All right, Brad, you got me. 46 feet there. That is a damn shame. Speaking of a damn shame, people, we are fugged. We might as well bend over, hope for lube, and grab our ankles, because we are fugged. J954, thank you, man. Thanks for the 223. He says, good to have old school JG live back. We need this. Hey, man, I needed this too. You guys help me too. Sorry, told myself I wouldn't cry. You guys help me too. That's what I meant to say. Generally specific. Thank you. Generally specific, good looking out. He says, hey, Jericho, we'll send you an email soon to see if you would be interested in another collab discussing the migration invasion. Let's do it. You got my email address. Hit me up. Let's talk about it. Somebody's going to tell the truth. Somebody's going to do that shit. Thank you for the Twompski Netta D. Hey, JG, congrats on your new channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope you guys like, subscribe, and share. The link is in the description box. Make sure you check it out. It's fun. It's fun doing that because I hope you're learning a lot. I hope you're entertained, but I also learn a lot. You know, it's different when you have somebody else, doing it with you. Like if you have a co-host or if you're interviewing somebody, it's different from doing it yourself. Not that it's hard or anything or, oh, I need a break, but it's just something different, and it's cool to talk to people with different experiences in life. And I'm still trying to, a matter of fact, I'm texting back and forth with my next interview, and maybe due to his position, he can help me achieve the other interview that I wanted to nail down. So we'll see what happens, because as we all know, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Spencer T says call-in show someday. Yeah, I might do that. There's no particular reason I haven't. That would be fun. But yeah, I wouldn't. I would not do that. But there's a couple things I want to do before I start adding different facets to what I did here. Too Fast, Too Furious. I did miss you, but the question is, did you miss me? Aaron M. He says Biden going to have 30 million new voters. You damn right he is, and that is a good segue into our next story. Think about what you think about. Says my favorite interview was of yours. Of yours was Sammy the Bull. Yeah, I had the honor of sitting down with Sammy the Bull Gravano. Yes, the Sammy the Bull Gravano. Somebody reached out to me and asked if I wanted to. I was like, hell yeah. So we set it up. I talked to him. Great stories. I hope I asked some good questions. He enjoyed it. That's what's important. I know if the interviewee enjoys it, I know I did it. I know I did a good job. And I just ask questions that I want to know. I think we all with certain people, with different people, I think we all kind of have the same questions. So I asked them what I wanted to know. Paul Gardner says, I thought this was a Chuck Norris movie. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Invasion USA. I just watched that a couple of weeks ago. And it's, everything you want in an 80s action movie. And not only the action and stuff and the one-liners and shit like that, but back in the day, the enemies in our movies were reflected by, or the enemies in our real life were reflected in the movies. We were having beef with the Russians, it's in the 80s during the Cold War. So that was the bad guy in Invasion USA. And I think it was the Russians and the Cubans that hooked up in that movie. But what about this verse? Thank you again. Thank you, man. Again, he says, every conservative channel I see that shows Chicago blacks complaining to Comrade Johnson, I rewatch your video on Chicago hates black children. They do. They fucking hate them. Why would you create an environment where they can be killed? You must hate them. You don't hate somebody that you set up to be killed. I think that's the very definition of hate. But let me pull up this story here. Aaron M., great segue. Biden's going to get 30 million new voters. And this is how. Okay, not buy that ad. He's not going to do that. Or that GMC pickup truck. But this is how. Come on now. Over 100 migrants break through razor wire, knock down guards as they illegally cross El Paso border in wild scene. And this is what I was talking about. I've never seen this. Look at this. That's razor wire. See any women and children in there? Nope. Bunch of dark ass men from foreign countries. Haiti, Africa, Central America, everybody's here. Watch this. All right, there's a long gun there. But the guys in the crowd don't have it. Here they come. Why are they stepping aside? Were they told to? Don't build a wall. It looks like we need one. Look at that shit. You ever seen images like that before? Am I the only one who's seeing images like that for the first time? Them breaking through our barriers? And here's a question that I had the first time I saw that. Why are they acting like that here? Because if you're an asylum seeker, you're thousands of miles away from your oppressors. You're thousands of miles away from the bad situation. So why are you acting like that here? Why are you bum rushing our border and bullying your way into our country illegally? If we're taking you in, if we're taking you under our wing to give you safety and prosperity, why would you act like that? And where were the poor, hungry, dirty-faced brown people that are just coming here for a better life? That's all they want. What's your problem? Why are you guys being racist, xenophobic assholes? All they want is a better life. Trump was a racist when he told us that they're sending their worst. Why would you believe a racist like that? Yeah, I know. Laken Riley, who was sexually assaulted and murdered by an illegal who had been arrested and released twice. I know, but these are just aberrations. These are the exception, not the rule. These people are just coming here to get a job and pay taxes. They want to put on their baseball cap, wave around the American flag on July 4th, and eat a slice of American apple pie. That's all they want. That illegal who sexually assaulted and raped a 15-year-old special needs girl, he was just trying to find a better life, and she got in his way. The illegal who killed that 11-year-old girl and stuffed her under her bed. He was looking for a better life, and that little 11-year-old came in there and bothered him and stopped him from finding a better life. That's all they want. They want baseball and apple pie. They're going to assimilate. They're going to learn English. All these stories you hear and videos you see of people who have been here for 30 fucking years and still can't speak English, that's the exception, not the rule. 15 years ago, when my wife called me at work and said she was in a car accident and she was hit by an illegal, and when he grabbed his 2 children and just started walking down the road and left his vehicle, that's the exception. These videos you see of these immigrants talking, these illegals, excuse me, I almost called them immigrants. These illegals coming here telling their countrymen how to become squatters and get in empty American homes and how to go to rich neighborhoods and rob them, and the gangs that are reconnecting when they get here and forming criminal rings, robbing houses. Those are the exception, guys, not the rule. The illegal who stabbed somebody to death at one of the detention centers in New York. That's the exception, not the rule. Stop being xenophobic racist. The illegals that stomped a New York police officer in his head multiple times and then were released and came out flipping off the camera like Tupac in that New Jersey Red Wings jersey. Those are the exceptions. So open your homes, open your arms, and open your mouth, because they're going to stick something in it. All these people, this 100+ group of war-age men shoving their way into the country, they're just going to come here and get jobs. They're going to get a job and ask you, would you like a jumbo yak con queso y un Pepsi? That's all. All the guys coming from China, we just want a better life. We're not going to hurt you or take jobs away from you American citizens. Don't be an asshole. And all of the Africans who come here and go to a state like Illinois that will allow them to be police officers, they just want a better life. That's it, you pricks. Oh, and don't worry about the fact that most of the countries these war-age men are coming from have an age of consent as low as 12. When they cross that imaginary line, they're going to say, nope. In America, it's 18, and damn it, I'm going to wait until they're 18. Anyway, El Paso, Texas, a group of over 100 migrants. They're not illegals, they're migrants. They're just migrating. They're like a bunch of geese. Attempted to enter the U.S. illegally by rushing a border wall Thursday, breaking through razor wire and knocking over guards in the process. And you know they told those National Guardsmen, don't shoot them, because all we need is footage of you spraying a bunch of unarmed people. The Post had earlier witnessed around 600 migrants massed at the international border as part of a spring surge of migrants hoping to gain access. It's the spring surge. You spring clean your house and you get the spring surge. The Texas National Guard was attempting to organize them into smaller groups, but the situation grew tense after some women and children were separated from adult males by the guardsmen. Well, when you're up here at our border, we kind of get to do what we want. Video taken by the Post showed one set of migrants, mostly single men, then rushing the Texas troops. The group of men with hoodies, gloves, and winter jackets could be seen pulling fencing away and dashing through the concertina wire as a group of 5 guards stood in a defensive formation to fill the gap. Where was their backup? Where was their backup? Where was their guns? The guardsmen firmly held their rifles and stood their ground in front of the migrants who heavily outnumbered them. Where? You got this guy right here who's grabbing a fence. Okay, I can see an M4, a barrel right here. Then why weren't they using them? Why didn't they point it at them and say, if you take another step, I'm going to shoot your ass? Actually, pointing a gun at somebody is pretty international. It's an international language. It's universal. That's the word I'm looking for. It's universal to point a gun at somebody. I think they know they're about to get shot. Now, so let me get this straight. The National Guardsmen are on the border. They will not point their guns at the illegals who are invading, who are pouring over the fence and breaking down the barriers. But next time you're out for a jog, just run into a military base and see what happens. See if they come up to you and say, no, no, no. They're probably gonna pop a cap in your ass. In the video, some figures raise their hands and surrender. But seconds later, others scramble through, with some coming through the guards' legs and knocking them out of the way. So you can see he has an M4. Does he have one in one hand? Is he holding one? Does he have one? The group then scrambled to the border gate and started to shout at guardsmen on the other side. Shouting. Why? Oh, look at these guys are pretty fashionable with the ripped jeans. Those are in now. What's in his fanny pack? War age man, war age. Anyway, that's stupid. Who cares if they're young men? Fighting age. They're not coming here to fight, are they? Nah. We have women and children. We're hungry. The Post heard one male migrant scream, even though most children were in another group, one of which was being prepared for processing to be let into the country. Help, help, help. They're kids, one cried. More members of the Texas National Guard then quickly moved in to secure the area. Get the fuck back. One guard could be heard yelling as he tried to bring order to the situation. I don't give a fuck if you got kids. They should have yelled back, we got kids here too. We have kids too. We're trying to help them. Help the American kids. You come from a country where the age of consent is 13. We're trying to help our kids by keeping you savages out. This is not how you make entry into a country, fellas. A source told the Post the rowdy group, which had amassed in the area known as Gate 36, located next to the highway in El Paso, was pushed back to Mexico. However, some members were arrested, and the rest of the people in the group were brought into the U.S.A. for processing. You know what that means? Hey, sorry about that, guys. Here's a little bottle of water. Here's a sack lunch. We're going to process you and then release you into the interior of the United States. Welcome. Border Patrol agent Orlando Marrero told local Fox 14, the migrants that we encountered here today at Gate 36 will be taken to a processing center. So why'd you guys even do that? They're going to let you in anyway. Fox News reporter Bill Melligan later wrote on X that there had been one arrest for assaulting a soldier. He added that more charges related to the destruction of property and assault were likely, citing Border Patrol sources. I'm sure they're so scared. Here's your ticket. Make sure you come back in a year, okay? Scouts honor, pinky promise. Despite the commotion, the city of El Paso's migrant dashboard showed 743 people had been released from custody and into the U.S. on Thursday. They were either released on parole or to pursue asylum claims in accordance with President Biden's current policies. In recent days, thousands of migrants have once again descended on the city, with the dashboard showing between 2,000 and 2,500 people held in Border Patrol custody nightly. The spring surge, ooh, what a nice name. The spring surge refers to the time when the weather improves and thousands of people from Central and Southern America are able to make the journey to the southern U.S. border without the nights being too cold and the days being too hot. The surge today in El Paso is a direct result of the unsustainable chaos President Biden has unleashed on the border, a spokesperson from Texas Governor Greg Abbott's office. The statement continued. The Texas Military Department and the Texas Department of Public Safety quickly gained control of the situation and are working to repair damage. These illegal immigrants committed crimes in Texas, and the Department of Public Safety is under instruction to arrest every illegal immigrant involved for committing criminal trespass and destruction of property. On Tuesday, the state had begun to prepare implementing SB 4, a new law to allow state and local authorities to make arrests for illegally entering the country. But an appeals court blocked the measure hours after the U.S. Supreme Court said it would allow it to go into effect. Holy hell. So I wonder why it's ignored. They said they committed a crime in America, but them coming into the country illegally is also a crime, right? So why wouldn't you just arrest them? Why bring them into our judicial system? Why put them in our jails? Why waste the bullshit time of processing them when you could just send them back and then put some kind of permanent structure? What do we call it? Wall. My bad, guys. I went to public school. A wall. Why wouldn't you erect a giant fucking wall so they couldn't get in? And then what you do is, I learned this when I went to the top of the Empire State Building. They don't actually allow you to go to the tip top. They let you up to like the 84th floor. But I learned this when I was in New York and I went to the Empire State Building. They have bars on top, and the bars are curved inward toward the spectators, so you can't climb up there and jump off. So why wouldn't you build a wall and have it curved inward toward Mexico, so it would make it impossible for them to throw something over the wall and climb? Why wouldn't you do that? Aaron Emmy says they all get Second Amendment rights too. That's true. That Obama appointed judge in Illinois says that the Second Amendment extends to illegals. They can have them too. Why? Why is it's not special? Everybody can have it, right? You all knew that slutty girl in high school. All the guys had it. She's not special. If they can all have our rights, then are they really rights? They're for American citizens. That's what makes it so special to be an American citizen, because we have these God-given rights extended to us. I think they're bullshit. There's a way that they can build a wall that nobody can get over. Unless you're a fucking cat burglar, you can't get over that wall. You've seen where the wall stops and there's razor wire and the people get around it. Huh? Fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. You ready for more ridiculousness? Jesus Christ. They just broke through. Fuck it. That shouldn't have happened. There should be a structure in place that they cannot get around. They cannot get through. Nope. Oh, hey, here's some good news. You guys want to see this? Because I sure want to show it to you. That sounds weird. My bad. Yeah, you don't want to see it. I sure want to pull it out and show you. Look at some says a migrant in New York tried to steal a woman's purse while riding on a scooter. He picked the wrong woman, and she is whooping his ass. She is whooping his ass. Oh, more of this needs to happen. You guys know that feeling when somebody tries to do something to you, you get your hands on them. Oh, this motherfucker will be ragdolled. Ragdoll, pit bull on a poodle. See if there's something.
These black queens of America.
Shout out to my man Blanchard. That's whose voice you hear.
Oh, they're gonna knock your head off. The closer you get to these urban areas, the more powerful these black women get. And so again, you're working with a force that you really can't deal with and probably haven't even trained for. These black women have magic. They have a queen's disposition. They have the strength of a superhero. Like these black women are nothing to play with. And I'm just telling you all now to leave them alone. And I know they didn't tell you all about them, but they're not going to be these helpless victims. They're not going to yell for help. They're going to knock your head off. And so this ain't like your country where the women are pretty much subservient and obedient and submissive and they with the program. Over here, these black women are independent. They run the show. They got all the muscle and all the hustle, everywhere. All the grit, the fight, and the might. Leave these black women alone, please, for your own safety and your own health. If y'all want to complete this mission of taking over America, you're going to have to somehow find a way to finesse these black women, because going up against them fist to fist, mano a mano is not going to work. You're going to lose.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, please, tell me. Tell me I was not prepared for the black wolf. Please, I was not prepared. They told me to come to New York City, but they did not prepare me for black women. That's what you get. Maybe that's the answer to our problem. Maybe we just need to unleash these ghetto ass black women on them, and they will go running for the hills. You weren't prepared for that, motherfucker. You wasn't prepared for that. He wasn't prepared for Yas Queen. He was not ready for that. They're watching too many fucking Cosby Show episodes. They were watching Mrs. Huxtable. They thought all these black women up here were like Mrs. Huxtable. Wrong. You ran up against the worst. Somebody help me. Somebody please help me. She's choking me and beating my fucking ass. Oh man, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. He said, he said, you picked the wrong bitch. You picked the wrong one, son. You sure did. Nothing prepares us for the black women. Hey, nothing prepared us for them either, fool. Thank you, Steve D. Martin. He says, speaking of pseudonyms, back in the day when tearing up lefties on message boards, my pen name was Dick Fildersnatch. I love it, man. Dudes are such perverts, and I fucking love it. Let's see. Hold on. Get back. Boom. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. She says, And why aren't they using 2A as they're invading? It's maddening to watch. That's what I'm saying. If you try to force your way into a military base, let's say the military base at the entrance, it has some kind of barrier, and you and say 99 of your friends decide to push through the barrier and make your way onto the base, what do you think is going to happen? Survey says get shot. Those soldiers will make your lead content go through the roof. Your doctor will look at your chart and be like, your lead levels are too high. They will put holes all up in you. But somehow, if you do that at the border, no, stop, please. Authentically Kennedy says, East Coast Black people seem so much more ratchet than the West Coast Black people. I don't know. I think we might see more of them because it is New York City. But the West Coast ratchets, I imagine they're pretty bad too. But I tell you what, probably the worst ratchets are the ones in the South. Yeah, I want to say the fuck beach. Those are the ones that were fucking crazy. I wouldn't want to mess with any of them. But those are probably the worst ones. But I'm glad that happened. Boret Zagdiev, thank you for being here. He says, Jericho, hello, my friend. Kamala is the abortion czar. Now, that's a job she takes serious. I did a video on Instagram of her going to an abortion clinic in Minnesota. Oh, bummer. And she was the first vice president to go to one, and she was saying how great it was and how these women are suffering in silence. You know who's suffering in silence? Their dead babies. That's who's suffering in silence. But she was there. Abortion is healthcare, and these women need access to kill their children, and this is such a great thing at a Planned Parenthood. Who founded it? Forget it. I'm sorry. See, that's my problem. I say facts, and I need to stop that shit. But this lady named Margaret Sanger, she would give speeches with the Klan. Forget it. I need to stop saying that. But this lady right here, a dumbass, is the mayor of Oakland, California. And she has something to say. And you need to listen because she speaks nothing but the truth. Mayor Sheng Tao. Mayor Sheng Tao of Oakland. What do you got to say, beach?
Oaklanders. Over the past year, my administration diligently focused on diagnosing our city's challenges while charting a path that leads to a more safe, clean, and prosperous Oakland. Last October, during my State of the City address, I said that public safety is my top priority. Since 2019, violent crime has been on the rise, and our police force fell to dangerously low levels. Predictably, an increase in property crimes also followed. Our 911 system also suffered from years of neglect, resulting in a steady decline of our answer times and staffing levels. Our technology was also antiquated and in desperate need of an upgrade. These challenges, they shatter our collective confidence and our faith in our city to deliver essential services, which is why under my administration, we rolled up our sleeves and we did the work. My fellow Oaklanders.
They did the work. You guys ever seen videos out of Oakland? You ever heard of a smash and grab? Homelessness? Matter of fact, watch this. This is Oakland. You don't need the music. Look at that. That's Oakland. She said a year ago, she rolled up her sleeves and they did the work. Well, I think you guys forgot some work. This is Oakland, California in America. This is not Mogadishu. This is not Bangladesh. This is not Delhi, some third world shithole with rickshaws. This is Oakland, California. Not only in America, it's in California, the 5th largest economy in the world. Really? Okay. She rolled up her sleeves and did the work, people. This is the work. It's done. The work is done. She did it already. No, this is not a dump. It's not a landfill. Oakland. She did the work. Stop asking her. It's fucking done already. And the people of Oakland, their tax dollars are going to this place. You think anybody wants to go here? You want to take a walk through this part of Oakland? We rolled up our sleeves and we did the work. I think you got some work left. I think you left some meat on that bone, Mayor Tao. You want to go to that McDonald's? Huh? I bet you that drive-through is packed. Ain't nobody sitting in that bitch. We did the work. We rolled up our sleeves and we did the work. We did it. Bay Area robbery suspect killed in a shootout with delivery driver. And unfortunately, the driver lost his life too. You got the DEA showing up here. Oh, Oakland. We rolled up our sleeves and we did the work. We rolled up our sleeves and we did the work a year ago. Me and my staff, my State of the City address, me and my staff. We want to make Oakland safer and more prosperous for Oaklanders. She started off by saying, my fellow Oaklanders, our city was in trouble and our police were understaffed and the 911 response and dispatchers, all this stuff was understaffed and the wait times for help were long and crime went up, and we rolled up our sleeves and we did the work. The work's done. Stop bugging me. Fucking work's done already. Don't worry about that Jeep that's burning in the middle of the street. Okay? Don't worry about the video of the old man who went out in the middle of one of those sideshows and he had a bag and he was hitting the cars with the bag. And then probably, 50 people surrounded him and started beating up an old man. He fell to the ground and they were stomping him on the ground. But we rolled up our sleeves and we did the work. Okay? So fuck off, naysayers. Thank you. But what about this verse? Oh, well, this is good. Thanks. He says, as an Oakland citizen, 911 now takes only 1 minute to answer and tell you a homicide detective will show up at your house an hour from now. Well, that's good. Since you're in Oakland, what is the nice part of Oakland, if that exists? If that exists. But she rolled up her sleeves and she did the work. Tammy D, what's up, girl? How you doing? Glad to see you in here. So here's the sexist statement that I promised you earlier. I believe that women should not be in positions of authority, like the mayor of a city, because from what I see, they're not good at it. Oakland, Los Angeles, was Chicago until they handed off to Mayor Johnson. A bunch of cities around the country, Washington, D.C., who are ran by women, and it sucks. Now, not saying that women can't do jobs, but in leadership roles, mayors, police chiefs, generals in the military that are in charge of stuff, I don't think so. Police officers, I think women should only be police officers if they're responding to female suspects. If there's a woman acting up, send a couple female officers to get her. Combat, I don't think that's a place for a woman. Men are leaders. We have leadership qualities. We make the tough decisions. We're not going to look at a city that's overrun with homelessness and drugs and say, just get him a house. Give him a program. Don't give him so much time. He reminds me of my son. If it don't apply, don't you cry. She says, I'm a woman and we're nuts. I'm not doubting that. I'm just talking in leadership roles. You have the commander for the Nashville Metro Police Department who wants to see 30% of their force female. They want to put a lactation station in the police department. Hey, if you're breastfeeding your baby, you shouldn't be on the force. Maybe stay home and raise your baby. Crazy idea. But they've already done it in San Diego, California. I told you, don't laugh at California because we are a mere petri dish. They're testing the shit out. And if it works if it's to their disgusting liking, it's coming to your ass next. The guitar picker. He picks nothing else but the guitar. Thank you for the Hamilton. I appreciate that. Jericho, who do you think will come out first? Like, hey, that kind of come out? Jaden Smith, Justin Trudeau, or Lindsey Graham? Well, Lindsey Graham will probably die before he comes out. Justin Trudeau or Jaden Smith? I'm going to say Justin Trudeau. I'm going to say Justin Trudeau because he's a hand job away from being like, hey, Canada, what's up? That's what I think. Oh, let me show you something this fucking idiot said. And I don't think this is new, but man, it's going to piss you off because it sure pissed me off. And I'm not even Canadian. Christian Hoser, what do you think of this, eh? What are you talking about? Hold on, where the fuck is this? I sent this to my man Gian the other day, and I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like if you took a vagina and then you made the vagina the size of a grown man, you're gonna have Justin. Where the fuck is it? I was just like, oh, no way he said that. No way, but he did fucking say that. Where is it? Me and Johnson, so much shit back and forth. But I sent it to him. No, I think it's after that. Hold on. Because I could tell you, but it's funnier if you see it from him. You see the footage. Because it's probably the gayest shit you ever heard in your life. Come on. Damn it. Where is it? And you guys have probably heard it before. Oh, here it is. No, it's not what I want. Found it. Well, I found it, but I clicked on the wrong thing. Clicked on the person who sent it. Not the, okay. Where it is. Damn it. It's a story not available. Son of a bitch. Of course it's not. So anyway, I have to tell you what it was is Justin Trudeau. He's in front of a crowd. It's probably at a college or something. There's a bunch of chicks there. And one of the girls is talking. She's something, mankind. And he goes, I'm sorry. Can you say people kind? That's more inclusive. And all the girls are like, yeah, that's right. What a bitch. What a bitch. Can you say people kind? That's more inclusive. Oh, you little cocksucker. I'm sure his wife was like, I am sick of being married to this woman. I am sick of pegging this fool 3 times a week. Disgusting. Secretary, not sure. JJ, it must be Sloppy Joe talking. I've always said why the National Guard is not on our borders. Training is beyond me. Great show as usual. Thank you. Or as not on our borders training. I don't know why. I don't get it. It's almost like they're not serious about our border security because that would be a perfect place for them. That would be a perfect place for our National Guard. And it's in the title. National Guard. Guard the nation, right? Put them on the border, arm them, and here it is. Here's the kicker. You guys ready? Not only should we put them on the border and arm them, and this is controversial. Sit down before I say this. I don't want you guys to be like, ooh, what? And fall over and hit your head on the fucking coffee table, okay? But not only should they put them on the border and arm them, but they should let them use their weapons if they have to. Shit, I know. Let me stop with the controversial statements. Well, guys, my kids are home from school. My son has his first flag football game tonight, Friday night, under the big lights. I'm excited for him. He's been doing well in practice. I'm sure he'll do well in the game as long as he listens to old dad's pointers. But I'm excited to go. He's excited. I let him wear it. They got their jerseys yesterday. He's like, Dad, can I wear it to school? I was like, yeah, go ahead, Junior. You can wear it to school. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, on one of my videos, I can't remember, but since I got 200 people in here live, I'm on a new journey. Oh, hold on. Netta D, thank you very much. Netta D, thank you. She says, JG, do you think a woman can handle a 1911? My fiance took me to the range, U.S.A. for a date, my first time, and I loved it. First of all, congratulations on your impending nuptials. Enjoy, spend lots of time with each other, enjoy your marriage for a little bit, and then make some babies. Congratulations on that. Yeah, you can handle 1911. Just make sure you have a nice firm grip, your feet are good, and your elbows are locked out. He'll probably tell you the same thing, but make sure your elbows are locked. You're leaning into it because that 45 is serious. But yeah, you'll be all right. And what a smart guy to take you to the range, because that means he cares about you and he wants you to be safe. Maybe he's not around. The wolves come and knocking, and that 1911 will make them run off into the darkness like bitches. But I'm on a new journey to be more healthy. So this is my second week, and I wanted to start doing it before I said, hey guys, this is what I'm going to do. I wanted to have already done it first, but I'm up at 6 a.m. I'm out the door by 6:30. I walk like a couple miles in the morning, no carbs, no sugar, just meat and vegetables for lunch and dinner. Breakfast is usually a protein shake, turkey bacon or turkey sausage, and like 4 eggs. So and it's pretty easy. And what keeps me, one of the things that keeps me on track is the years that I was eating poorly. I put plenty of time in the restaurants and cookies and all this bad shit. I've been there, done that. So I'm living a more healthy lifestyle. I'm exercising. I want to show my kids how they need to treat their body. I want to be here for my kids. I don't want to fucking die too early. And I'm just tired of it. When you finally get tired of something, when you finally get tired of telling yourself, you need to do it, and next thing you know, months and years just fly off the calendar. So I'm finally there. I'm sick of it. I want to make a change. I am making a change. So one of the reasons, another way that I want to keep myself, on track is, number one, to let you guys know this and for a level of accountability. One of the things I'm doing is I'm not shaving until I drop 50 pounds. And the only thing I will shave is around my mouth, because fellas, when the hair gets long, your hair gets in your mouth and shit, fuck all that. So I will trim around here, but this is going to get, crazy until I drop 50 pounds. So I'm just kind of a visual reminder, if you will. So that's what I'm doing. And what I'm going to start doing, Thomas Bailey says, genetically modified food is scary good for you. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. But another thing I'm going to start doing is every morning when I leave out the door, when I leave the front door, I'm going to do a quick, maybe 10 seconds or so, like, hey, I'm up. Boom, let's do this shit. Because Mike Tyson, Brad Armstrong, will your beard add weight? Yeah, but not that much. one thing, Mike Tyson isn't known for saying intelligent things, but one thing he says is, in order to be successful, you have to learn to do the things you hate like you love them. So I fucking hate getting up early. And one of the things I was doing bad was not only eating bad, but staying up late and then eating like shit and falling asleep. So I'm in bed by 10, and now I'm tired. You know, by 10 o'clock, I'm fucking tired. So I'm in bed by 10, I'm up by 6. So yeah, so when I leave the door, I'm going to be record a quick little video. Hey, I'm up, kind of keeping myself accountable and keeping a journal of it, and just you know, letting people know that, yeah, it fucking sucks, but you got to do it. You have to. You know, you got to take care of yourself. You don't want to fucking die early. So that's what I'm going to do. Those are some of the ways that I am keeping myself accountable. So if you see me not, actually, I shouldn't even say that, because I was going to say, if you see me not doing that, you know, let me know in the comments. But let's be honest. If I don't want to fucking do it, I'm not going to care what anybody tells me in the comments. So I need to keep myself accountable and make sure that I do that. So that's what I'm going to do. J954 says Jake Paul will win by decision. I don't think so, man, because I think it got upgraded to a fight, not just not an exhibition. But I think what will beat Mike Tyson is the stamina. I think if it goes past a certain amount of rounds, Jake Paul really has a chance. But if we're talking the first 2-3 rounds, if Tyson can get him up out of here, it's a wrap. He'll knock him the fuck out. So that's what I think. So let me see. Mark A. Steele Sr. says, I'll keep in touch, Jericho. I'm up at 5 a.m. PM naps for me, feeling kind of fine at 69. All right, well, Mark, let me know what I have to look forward to, getting close to my 70s. But that's my goal, is to be around then. I don't want to be dead early and my kids don't have me, and I'm not there for all the crucial moments in their life, and then some fucking stepdad comes in here and he's touching all up on my woman. Fuck that. So that's what I'm up to now. So hopefully you'll be able to see me slimming down. And when you do, make sure you're in the comments. You look great. You look great. It's good for the ego. It's good for the ego. Great. Lots of weight. Greatest weight loss guy. So anyway, that's what I'm up to, fuckers. So like I said, the kids are home, so I got to go do dad shit, make them do their homework, have my daughter roll her eyes at me. I didn't do nothing. You know, that is. So I appreciate you guys being here. It was great to be back doing lives. I will be back doing it again, because you know the dumb shit is going to continue in 2024. Appreciate you guys. Keep your heads up. Keep your powder dry, you son bitch. Do you know how it goes? I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Make sure you get in that description section where I pin the link to my new YouTube channel, Green's House. I am Jericho Green, and man, I'm out.